For decades, software engineering operated on a comforting absolute. If you put a specific input into a system, you get a highly predictable output. You write the rule, and the logic executes. The introduction of generative AI and multi-agent systems broke that reliable machinery. Instead of strict logical pathways, these models operate on probability, guessing the next best step rather than following a rigid map. In a low-stakes creative tool, a probabilistic guess is acceptable. But if you drop that same unpredictable behavior into a regulated environment, like insurance or finance, a bad guess becomes an unacceptable operational risk. This profile belongs to a systems architect with over 14 years' experience, governing complex software in high-reliability environments. Over a 4-year tenure handling operational risk at Intact Insurance, they learned exactly where complex systems break down under pressure. The standard industry approach to this risk is reactive. Teams build the AI system first, and then attempt to wrap it in a layer of compliance policies or guidelines after the fact. You cannot safely orchestrate AI in regulated spaces with external policies. The governance must be engineered directly into the system's core infrastructure from day one. This proactive methodology relies on a specific framework known as constraint-centered architecture. Instead of asking how a system can recover after a failure occurs, the objective shifts entirely to preventing the failure from happening in the first place. This diagram demonstrates anticipatory engineering. It is a method of mapping out every potential failure mode, or chaotic particle field, and closing off those spaces with rigid boundaries before the code even executes. By strictly defining what the system is allowed to do, highly ambiguous AI behavior is forcibly translated into an orderly grid of rule-bound collaboration. The system maintains its order through anti-exception enforcement. Anti-exception enforcement is a logic mechanism that instantly blocks and rejects any action or output that falls outside the explicitly allowed state. By formalizing these exact allowable states, the architect eliminates the possibility of invalid or untraceable AI outcomes entirely by design. To execute this philosophy, the architect built a proprietary framework, the Law's Language Model, or LLM. Standard AI models optimize for speed and output quality, calculating the most plausible answer as quickly as possible. This specific model optimizes purely for safety. It achieves this through explicit confirmation gating, requiring the system to pass strict, predefined checks before moving forward. This converts standard generative behavior into a traceable, deterministic sequence. This diagram illustrates a framework's core loop, called protocol-ordered execution. It cycles strictly through drift, alignment, evaluation, execution, and context preservation. Because every action must pass through these exact gated nodes, long-running workflows operate securely. The system maintains strict context, even when distributing tasks across multiple agents. This sequential mechanism takes systems that inherently want to guess and forces them to follow rules. It makes ambiguous AI viable for strict corporate deployments. When a probabilistic system passes through this architecture, its risk profile changes. Fast, fragile AI experiments become durable workflows that behave predictably under pressure. The objective behind this rigorous technical constraint is specific and vital, preserving human decision authority in the loop. By prioritizing clarity and prevention over raw speed, the architect translates complex technical risks into clear, manageable structures that executives can confidently make decisions on. This structural alignment connects the engineering teams building the tools directly with the security, legal, and operations teams governing them. As AI scales globally into critical infrastructure, the future will belong to the structural engineers who build the deterministic boundaries that keep those models grounded.